Second game of the three-game series underway. Venable, a 1 for 4 yesterday, season average of 277. Has hit 5 home runs and driven in 14. And OSC's first pitch is called a strike by the home plate umpire, Gary Darling. Much cooler tonight than it was yesterday at game time. 57 degrees as opposed to 66 last night. And that pitch fouled out of play to the left side. And quickly 0-2 on Will Venable.
OSC, a fairly hard thrower, 90 to 96 miles an hour. Good slider that he'll use to the right-handers, a changeup that he'll use to the lefties more, and also a curveball.
Here's the 0-2 pitch, up and in. That'll back Venable off the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Last 2 starts for OSC has not been very good. 4 1/3 and his start on the 2nd of June against the White Sox, and only 4 innings pitched in his start against the Angels. This is one of the pieces that was dealt from the New York Yankees here to Seattle and the Michael Pineda trade. And the pitch just missing outside, and it's 2-2.
Got a lot of work last year for the Yankees out of the bullpen. 30 appearances. Did make 2 starts as well. They're still hopeful this guy can be a part of this rotation.
Swing and a miss. And Venable down on strikes to start this ball game. And with a 1 away, that'll bring up Everett Cabrera. Well, Cabrera had himself quite a night last night. Not only 2 for 3 with a run batted in, but 3 stolen bases, a career high. And we mentioned this earlier in the year about Cameron Maybin. The same can be said here about Everett Cabrera, that the offense runs a lot more smoothly when guys like this are on base. Agitators. Pitch is high, ball 1.
I like Cabby's little welcome to the catcher. Oftentimes guys will go up and give the catcher a little tap on the shin guards. He whacked Montero.
Fastball high. It's 2-0.
I don't know if they know each other or not.
I hope so.
They do now.
Absolutely right. I hope they do. Here comes the 2-0. And Cabrera short the bunt, takes a strike. Left to be out of the zone. It's 2-1.
Not a lot of movement so far on the fastballs that Noah C has thrown. Mostly pretty straight 4-seamers, but good life on the end.
2-1 pitch. And Cabrera takes a strike. That is right in there. It's 2-2.
Andy, you mentioned the troubles that Noah C had in his previous 2 starts. Victimized 2 different ways. In the first game, it was home runs. Gave up 3 of them. And then in the last start, he walked 5 guys, which was very unusual for him.
Cabrera takes just low. I'll tell you what. I'm looking at the TV broadcast, the monitor here. The one pitch that Gary Darling called a strike was well out of the strike zone. That last pitch split the middle of the plate at the knees. That should have been strike 3.
It was a good 2-seamer. The first 2-seamer we've seen Noah C throw, but it was 95 miles an hour at the knees with good movement going away from Cabrera.
Full count pitch to Cabrera. And he swings and misses. There's strike 3. So back-to-back strikeouts to start the game off for Hector Noesi. And the batter will be Chase Headley.
One thing I've seen in these first 2 batters, Andy, is we know he throws the changeup to left-handers, but he's also been throwing that slider so far to the lefties, especially down and in.
And Headley fouls the first pitch back and out of play. 94-mile-an-hour fastball right there. 0-1. So from the Dominican Republic, 6'3", 200-pound right-hand thrower, 25 years of age. 0-1 delivery. And there's a pitch a little bit low, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. And a tap foul right at home plate. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes on Chase Headley. Chase a 1 for 4 with a run batted in yesterday. Just underway. The bases are empty. 2 away. A scoreless game in the first inning. And the 1-2 delivery now. A little bit inside. It's 2-2.
Nice pitch. Second time so far he's come hard inside on one of these left-hand hitting Padre batters. He's trying to show everybody early, hey, I'm not afraid to come in there.
And there are a few left-handers in this lineup tonight. And a little flare into right field. A base hit got underneath the glove of Smoke. Sounded like a broken bat, but Headley will take the 2-out single to bring Carlos Quentin to the plate.
Nice little piece of hitting. After seeing the hard fastball high and tight, they try to come back with it looked like a changeup away. And Chase able to stay on it. Broken his bat, as you mentioned, Andy, but still getting enough of it to pull to the right side. Not easy to do after getting that 95-mile-an-hour heater up around your chin.
So Alessi has a man at first base now. He'll work from the stretch for the first time. Carlos Quentin will come up. 1 for 2 yesterday. Was hit by a pitch and also walked. And at .432 with 5 homers and 10 runs batted in. Quentin takes a fastball high for ball 1. Quentin, as we mentioned yesterday, the most experienced DH that the Padres have on their roster. Coming over from the Chicago White Sox. Plenty of opportunity there. At least if he didn't DH, he at least saw guys and had the opportunity to talk to guys. We mentioned yesterday Paul Konerko was one of those players that Quentin leaned on for some information, and a good guy to lean on. 1 ball, no strikes on Quentin. And he fouls one straight back just to our left and out of play. Now that ball came back to eat. I mean, that was a ball that did not have dinner tonight and was quite hungry.
You're ready for one of those to come into the booth here, aren't you?
I've been practicing ducking.
I know, you saw that autographed hole right behind us.
Yeah, Marlon Byrd, back in 2009, put a baseball-sized hole in the drywall right behind us.
Well, if it's any consolation, that was back in 2009, so we've had a couple of years. I don't see any fresh holes up here.
But this one's unidentified, the one above it that didn't quite knock the drywall loose, but there's a big dent just above it, a little bit to the right.
Yeah, that wasn't a home run here. That was one of those little Punch and Judy guys.
Yeah,
that's why he doesn't put the hole there.
2-1 now on Quentin. Chase Headley, the runner at first base, and 2 outs in this first inning, scoreless game. And a throw over. So if there's a stolen base, we'll say congratulations to Nina Atkins, our Steal a Meal contestant. For every base the Padres steal today, he's going to receive a McDonald's $25 gift card. Enter to win at xx1090sandiego.com. McDonald's, many locations open late, some 24 hours. There goes Headley. Pitch is taken for a strike. The throw on down is going to get into center field. But Headley had some trouble getting back to his feet. He and Ackley collided a bit there at second base, but a steal. And, Nina, I say it here, it happens down there. It just, one of those things. So that's a $25 gift card right now. And again, $25 in gift cards every time the Padres steal the base the rest of tonight's ballgame.
Yeah, that was a hard landing for Chase Headley over there. A couple of things. He did collide with Ackley a little bit, also hit the base real hard, and the ball might have actually gotten a piece of him as well.
So now a chance for Quentin to drive in the first run of this game. 2-2 and a swing and a foul. Good protection job right there. Swinging at a close one and staying alive.
Nice job by Chase once again. We've talked about it so many times, Andy, but not the fastest guy, but just so smart in terms of picking his pitches to go on. And the Mariners are aware of him, too. They threw over there several times. Chase still able to get himself into scoring position. That's one thing we wanted to watch today, was how Montero handled himself behind the plate.
2-2 delivery. And Quentin trying to check. And Gary Darling would not appeal to first base. And Quentin is chatting with the home plate umpire, the crew chief, saying at least get some help. But to no avail. And Quentin, after replay, held up and did not swing. Rough top of the first inning for the home plate umpire, and the Padres walk away empty-handed. They strand a man at second base after a half inning. Padres nothing, and the Mariners coming up. Padre baseball, San Diego sports leader, XX1090.
If you wear safety or slip-resistant footwear,
scoreless to the bottom of the first, and Ichiro will lead off here against Jason Marquis, making his second Padres start. Coming in off a loss to the San Francisco Giants. A couple of earned runs given up in 6 innings of work. 4 runs total. And Marquis will deliver, and a pitch in there for strike one. It's going to be a little adventurous, I have a feeling, here today with the strike zone. It's moved all over the place already in the first inning, at the top of the first. And it does happen. Fastball is high. It's 1-1.
Yeah, it's been a moving target. That makes it tougher for hitters and pitchers alike. As they always say, just give me consistency. At least I'll know what to expect to be called for a strike and what not.
1-1 delivery. Slap towards second. Amarista will pick it up and throw out Ichiro for out number one. Padres wearing those blue tops, the alternate jersey with the SD emblazoned on that left chest, with the gray pants, and the Mariners in their home whites here at beautiful Safeco Field.
I'm a fan of those blue tops. How about you, Andy?
I like the look.
Yeah.
Kind of blending a little old school with a little new school. How about that? Like the piping. And first pitch called a strike to Dustin Ackley.
Great movement on Marquis' fastball here in the early going. Throws a lot of two-seamers. He also has a cutter, changeup, breaking ball. That two-seamer really fading away from the lefties here early on.
Ackley grounds it at third. Scooped up there nicely to his left by Headley. He'll straighten up and throw out Ackley for out number two.
Another two-seamer away. And just like Ichiro was reaching for it, and he rolled over it. This time, Ackley was reaching for it also. He opted to try to go opposite field with it, but when it's running away from you that much, it's just hard to square up.
So here's Kyle Seager, third baseman, batting third tonight. So this is the second time that Marquis has faced the Mariners this year, second time here in this ballpark as a member of the Minnesota Twins on the 5th of May. Very similar start to one he had for the San Diego Padres, except for the fact that he walked 6 Mariners in the game. First ball low. 1 ball, no strike. 6 innings, 4 hits, a couple of runs, 6 walks, and only 1 strikeout in a 7-0 loss. 1-0 pitch. Just a bit outside. And the count is 2 balls and no strikes on Kyle Seager.
And now it's Marquis' turn to look in at Gary Darling as to say, where did that miss?
It didn't, but that's okay. Two-0 pitch. And that's outside now, 3-0. Marquis kind of looking down at his hand as if to say that one slipped a little bit. And it's 3 balls and no strikes here against Kyle Seager. And that's outside, I guess. Ball 4.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure where that one missed. I think he may have called it low, and I only say that because of the pitch that Noah C. threw to Cabrera, which also looked like a pretty darn good pitch, but was called low. So I'm going to say that we are not going to see a lot of low strikes called today.
So here's Jesus Montero. He'll bat with a runner at first base in this scoreless game, first inning. And a strike called. No balls and 1 strike. Montero, along with Noesi, is one of the guys acquired from the New York Yankees in the Michael Pineda trade. Of course, it works out very well for Seattle this year with Pineda out with arm troubles. And fastball back to Montero way off the plate, 1-1.
Like it, get ahead of him to move his feet. One thing we've seen out of Montero in the few at bats so far in this series, pretty good low fastball hitter. He had a good swing on a fastball down yesterday, ripped a single on a good fastball down and in. Marquis definitely trying to get him off the plate and maybe open up that outside corner.
Marquis stepped off the rubber. Now we'll go through the signs with Nick Hundley once again. And then we'll lob a throw over to first base. Seager will dust himself off. And Marquis will look plateward again for a sign from Nick Hundley. No score in the first. 2 outs and a runner at first base for the Mariners. 1-1 pitch to Montero. Bounced in and a great block by Hundley. Shifting to his right. 2-1.
Real nice block. Nick's gotten so good at blocking balls, especially to that right side, which can be more difficult sometimes for catchers. The glove on the left hand, especially coming from right-handed pitchers, that ball will have a tendency to carry them off the right side of their chest protector. And Nick doing a nice job of keeping the angle in front of him, keeping the ball in front, nowhere for the runner to go.
2-1 is the count. There goes Seager. Pitches way outside again on one bounce. Nick's throw on down is on the bag and in time. What a great play right there by Nick Hundley. That ball bounced in, and he was able to make the strong throw on the bag at second, and they get Seager trying to advance. Inning over. Mariners don't score and leave none. We go to the second. Scoreless at Safeco. Padre Baseball, San Diego sports leader, XX 1090.
Leader, XX 1090.
A tremendous defensive play by catcher Nick Hundley. On a pitch that bounced into the left-hand batter's box, able to make a strong throw to get Kyle Seager trying to steal to end the bottom of the first and leave us scoreless here in the second inning with Mark Kotze leading off.
Well, that really was a nice throw, and what Nick did so well is he was able to get his feet semi-planted as he was catching that ball to allow for a quick release. Nice job.
Kotze with a swing and a miss. Noesi gets ahead, no balls and one strike. Trying to train myself, but no Essie. There's no S. And then there's an E at the very end.
Noesi.
Their PA guy called him Noesi.
He would be mispronouncing the Spanish pronunciation.
Yeah, it's very confusing. So let's just call him Hector. How about that?
I like it. The big right-hander in the Mariners uniform.
Right-hander Hector about to throw his 0-2 pitch here to Mark Kotze. And that's in the air to left. That'll be Casper Wells getting underneath that one to make the one-hand catch. And that is out number one. Casper Wells, if you're not familiar with the name, that makes two of us.
Make it three.
And they made a ton of roster moves today, did the Seattle Mariners. How about 8 in one day? I mean, that is just unheard of.
That's a busy day.
Casper Wells recalled from AAA Tacoma today. As a strike called on Yonder Alonso, scoreless here in the second. Erasmo Ramirez also recalled from AAA. Franklin Gutierrez was returned from rehab assignment here to the big league club, activated off the 15-day disabled list as Alonso fouls without a play. Right-handed pitcher Steve Delabar also recalled from Tacoma today. Mike Karp, outfielder, placed on the disabled list. Stephen Pryor, who we saw last night go down with that groin injury, placed on the DL. Blake Bevan and Alex Liddy were also optioned to Tacoma. And a shot to short. And Kawasaki will make that catch. And there's out number 2. That'll bring up Cameron Maben in the scoreless game, second inning.
And Andy, the word amongst the Mariners press today was that a lot of those moves started taking place after the 5th inning when the Mariners made some terrible plays. Actually, the 6th inning.
Mm-hmm.
And Ryan made that over-the-shoulder attempt on the pop-up to shortstop, and Sean Figgins was nowhere to be found. I think that was the final draw. They said, you know what, we're going to start making some moves here because this just isn't working.
Maben gets spun around inside. I heard one guy say, yeah, they brought out some guys that can actually catch the ball in left field. I thought, okay, well, kind of harsh, but kind of accurate.
Well, that was very accurate. That was one of the big turning points in that ball game yesterday.
1-0 pitch. High strike called, and it's 1-1. Maben 1 for 4 with a run batted in last night as the Padres hang on for the 5-4 win. Slider missing outside. 2-1 now on Cameron Maben.
I thought it was kind of an interesting comment, too, because it sort of reminds you that, hey, even though they try to show patience and they don't want to be overreactive to something that they just see on the field once or twice, they do still reach their point where they say, you know what, Uncle, I can't take this anymore. We're going to have to do something.
2-2 delivery. Strike 3 call. Pitch looked to be outside, but Maben rung up on strikes. That's 4 strikeouts already. for the young Mariner pitcher, Hector Noesi. We go to the bottom of the second inning, and we still have no score here in Seattle. Padre Baseball on San Diego Sports Leader, XX 1090.
San Diego's Diego.com. Padres Baseball on San Diego Sports Leader, XX 1090.
Carlos here to the bottom of the second, and Jesus Montero, not Miguel Montero. He plays for a completely different team. And a broken bat, base hit up the middle. He got a little upset with me for calling him Miguel, so he breaks his bat and lines a single to center field. Of course, Miguel Montero, the catcher for the Arizona Diamondbacks. This catcher for the Seattle Mariners at first base with Justin Smoke coming to the plate.
Well, we heard he was a good hitter, and I hadn't seen much of him other than a couple of glimpses of minor league highlights, but Jesus Montero certainly seems to be everything that the scouts had anticipated him to be, which is a solid major league hitter right from the get-go. Not much of a defensive catcher, but certainly already a dangerous MLB stick.
Very strange stance at the plate, kind of leaning backwards almost as though he'll fall over at any moment, but a big guy and able to break the bat and still line one up the middle. So here's Smoke. Very short lead by Montero at first, and a fastball missing outside from Jason Marquis for ball one. Smoke, the switch hitter from the left side here against Marquis. And got a strike called on the inside corner. Everybody looking back at Gary Darling today. Everybody from each team.
Yeah, everybody's had their chance. Both pitchers have had a second look. Several of the hitters from both teams have had a look back and say, really? It's guesswork today. You just better be swinging it.
1-1 the count here on Smoke. Way inside, 2-1. And fans may wonder, I mean, okay, a 1-0 pitch comes in and it's called a strike. What's the big deal? It's one pitch. Well, it means that the difference in the pitcher being able to throw what he wants to throw or have to maybe come in with a fastball 2-0.
Exactly, and he can totally turn the at-bat around. And we've talked about the stats so often of how important it is to get a first pitch strike. Oftentimes, if it's a 1-1 pitch, it can turn an at-bat around.
2-1. Up and in, 3-1.
And if you're turning an at-bat around, how often does one at-bat make the difference in an inning?
Absolutely.
How often does the one inning make the difference in a ball game? So often I'll go back and I'll look at the turning point of a ball game, and you say, wow, I had the big inning. You can track it all back sometimes to one single pitch that got that inning going. Not necessarily a bad call, but maybe a bad executed pitch.
3-1 now to Smoke, and that's low and in for ball 4. So the first two men have reached. Second walk issued here by Marquis. So first and second with nobody out for Michael Saunders, who was 3 for 4 in the game last night with a home run. Conley was out to have a word. Now we'll go out in front of home plate, go through a series of signs for the infielders in case a play is on. You wouldn't expect it with not a lot of speed on the base pass. But stranger things have happened. Better to be prepared. So Marquis from the stretch without runners on at first and second delivers a first pitch outside for ball 1 on a fastball. That's 1 no strikes.
I thought Saunders had some interesting at-bats yesterday against the left-hander Clayton Richard. It looked like he wasn't comfortable in his first at-bat, had a little bit of a off-the-end broken bat single. Then as the game went on, got better and better at-bats, but some good swings on off-speed pitches. I'm curious to see how he reacts to fastballs in from the right-hander.
Line to left, Kotze right there coming in to make the grab. Straying off at second base is Montero, and they double him up. Excellent play there by Kotze to recognize that Montero was halfway to third and threw a one-hop strike to Amarista on the bag at second. Double play.
Oh, what a veteran play. Line drive right at him, and Kotze has the wherewithal and the heads up to realize the guy's off base, so he doesn't even get camped. He doesn't do the crow hop, nothing. He just catches the ball, throws off balance because he realizes, hey, it's not how hard you throw, it's how quickly you get rid of it. He throws a one-hop strike to Amarista, and then after he throws him out, he gives the shotgun over to Cameron Maben over in center field to say, yeah, baby, I got him. Nice play.
Mark Kotze coming through with a big play right there. 2 away. Now the runner at first base, Justin Smoke. And the batter, John Jaso, did not play last night. And that pitch gets by Hundley all the way to the screen. No chance for Nick to corral that one. And down to second goes Smoke with 2 outs.
No, that one totally caught Nick off guard. He was camped out on the other side of the plate. Jason Marquis just yanked that one. Not a whole lot that Nick could do.
So a wild pitch, allowing Smoke to get into scoring position in this scoreless game here in the second inning. A glance back at second, and now to the plate, and a big swing and a miss by Jaso. It's 1-1.
I'm still chuckling to myself, Andy, over that play by Mark Kotze. Love that.
Yeah,
this guy's been such a good influence on this team.
He's got a flair, doesn't he? But it's not overstated.
It's a professional flair. It's
exactly
the flair of a guy that's a veteran player that knows how to handle himself and how to do the little things to take advantage of mistakes by the rookies.
1-1 pitch, a little bit outside, and it's 2-1.
And then not a day goes by where I don't hear him chattering in the dugout, chattering at the batting cage, chattering out on the infield somewhere, but not in an annoying way.
No.
He's having fun and he's teaching at the same time. It's just great to watch.
Two balls, 1 strike. And the pitch into right field. Pretty much in his tracks is Will Venable. He'll make that catch. And that is that for the Mariners here in the second. They get a hit. And they strand a man at second base. But that's it. We've played 2. Padres nothing. Mariners nothing. Padre baseball on San Diego Sports Leader WX 1090.
90.
We go to the third. And we are scoreless, as Nick Hundley will lead off. Only in the 8th spot tonight. Followed by Alexi Amarista, then back to the top of the order for Will Venable. The first pitch drills Nick Hundley. He will take his base. Second Padre to be hit by a pitch in the series. Yesterday was Carlos Quentin. So the lead man aboard here for Alexi Amarista.
That's about as solid as I've seen somebody hit this season. I mean, that was a no-fooling 93-mile-an-hour four-seamer right in the ribs.
So Amarista at the plate in this scoreless game. Pitch on the way, and a big swing and a miss. This copyrighted broadcast presented by authority of the San Diego Padres may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of the game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres. Keep that in mind, folks. The legalese. The other way into left field. That's going to chase Wells back toward the corner. He will reach up and make a backhanded catch in foul territory. Heading back to first base as Nick Hundley, he gets there safely. But Casper Wells flirting with that wall on the side there in foul ground. Little backhand pick, making the catch.
Andy, we talked about it just a few minutes ago, the fact that the Mariners wanted to get somebody out there that could catch the ball. That was a pretty darn nice play. Full speed run over towards foul territory, only about 4 feet between the foul line and a wall. And at a full pace, able to backhand it. Nice play.
So 1 away, back to the top now for Venable, who struck out in the first. 5 for his last 14 at the plate, including a home run and a couple of runs batted in. And a bouncer foul at home plate. Rolling near that first base on deck circle. Line score exactly the same. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. Both teams. Here we play in the top of the third. Bounce towards second. Ackley will tag Hundley going down the line and throw to first in time. Double play, 4-3. And the Padres are done in the third. We go to the bottom. Padres nothing, Mariners nothing. As it's our 15th out of the game. Brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Head to geico.com. Now we go to the bottom of the third. And we're scoreless. Padre Baseball, San Diego sports leader, WX 1090.
Sports leader, WX 1090.
8-9-1 batters here for the Mariners in the bottom of the third. We are scoreless. It'll be Casper Wells. And a first pitch strike fired from Jason Marquis. Wells, as we mentioned, just called up today from AAA Tacoma, the Rainiers, and he's down to the count, 0-2. Second stint with the big league club this year, had appeared in 25 previous games before being sent back down. Okay, Bob, I'm gonna fight the temptation to say where was that pitch, but I'm going to ask you, where was that pitch?
It was close, Andy. It was very close.
1-2 the count, and Marquis' next offering is outside. Good pick there by Hundley. Marquis kind of looking skyward as if to say, I should have had to throw that pitch to this guy.
Yeah, the one good thing about playing in Tacoma, it rains a lot over there, but at least those guys are used to the climate, they're used to the conditions, and it's a nice short drive when you do get called up.
Very true. You got to hope the team's at home. 2-2 delivery. And a called strike actually on a swing by Gary Darling. Again, not choosing to appeal. And a strikeout for Jason Marquis. That is his first and the first down in the third.
Hey, fans, Padre Baseball brought to you by Hawaiian Airlines. Start your Hawaii vacation early. Experience authentic Hawaiian hospitality and the comfort of roomy wide-body planes with Hawaiian Airlines nonstop from San Diego.
We are certainly in a flight pattern here. Speaking of airplanes and airlines. From SeaTac Airport, Seattle, Tacoma. As we tie it all together, you're talking about Tacoma, you're talking about airplanes, and boom, they're flying overhead.
And don't forget the trains that are going to be coming.
Oh, yeah.
We have the 8 o'clock getting ready to arrive, the Jerry Coleman special.
Should be coming in around 9 minutes or so, yeah. Kawasaki will take another pitch inside, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. You're in the bottom of the third inning, and no score. Base is empty with 1 out. A few more heavy jackets today than there were yesterday. A line shot base hit to right field. Venable will field it cleanly and get that ball back in. So Kawasaki with a sharp single to right field. Back to the top of the order now for Ichiro with 1 away.
Fastball away, Kawasaki pulling it. Haven't seen much of him, so I'm curious to see if he's a hook pull type batter, similar hitting style to Ichiro off that front foot. We'll see how that plays out over the course of the game.
Well, the 8 o'clock a little early. Coming through at about 7:52. Ichiro will take a strike as he was backing away from that one. 4 hits shy of 2,500 in the big league career of Ichiro Suzuki. Throw over to first base.
I know he's off to a slow start this year, Andy, but he looked like the regular Ichiro to me yesterday.
Oh, yeah. Slapping the ball the other way, running all around the base paths. 2 for 5 in the game yesterday with a run scored. And the 0-1, low and in, it's even, ball and a strike. Now, the debate will always go up about Ichiro and the Hall of Fame.
What debate is that?
Well, there's some that feel that with the hits that he accumulated in, a lot of people want to combine those and say, okay, well, he's closing in on 4,000. Big swing and a miss there, 1 and 2. I think that with not only the body work from the plate, but early in his career, the body of work he provided in the outfield with a tremendous throwing arm.
Still has it.
And I just don't understand the debate at all. I think that
I'm with you.
This is a guy that will be the first Japanese player.
I think the only debate is if he's first ballot or not.
Got him. Strike 3 call. And Ichiro will just turn and walk away from home plate umpire Gary Darling, who has called him out on strikes. Now 2 away. A couple of strikeouts here for Marquis in this third. And the batter will be Dustin Ackley with 2 outs. 4 hits shy of 2,500 for his big league career. He's gotten to 2,496 in only 1,811 games.
It's a no-brainer for me. I mean, the numbers are incredible. And he had the most hits ever in the history of Major League Baseball in a season.
Right. 262.
And as you said, the defensive abilities, the arm, I mean, the whole package. I don't see how anybody could really even debate it.
Scoreless game, bottom of the third. And the first pitch. So Dustin Ackley is outside for ball 1. Ackley batting for the second time, grounded to third his first time to the plate. Here's the 1-0, blowing in, and that is now 2 balls and no strikes. Get you updated on some of the scores from around baseball as well as we move along here, but one to let you know about is the New York Mets with R.A. Dickey on the mound. Beat the Rays 9-1. Kawasaki will head over to second base and get there as a steal. Scoreboard says shake and bake. That's the first steal for Kawasaki. Had been thrown out the previous 2 times.
Shake and bake, Cal. Tough pitch for Nick to throw him out. He got a great jump. Off-speed pitch. Nick's throw a little bit to the shortstop side. Time to strand him.
2-1 pitch. A little bit inside now, 3-1. Well, Larry Dickey pitches the Mets to a 9-1 win over the Rays at Tropicana Field. Dickey sets a new Mets record for consecutive scoreless innings, 32 2/3 innings. A record that bested Jerry Koosman, 31 2/3 back in 1973. And a high fly ball into shallow left center field. This should take care of the Mariners as Maben is under it. He's got it, and that's the inning. So Kawasaki stranded at second base. The Mariners don't score. We've played 3. We are scoreless. Padre Baseball, San Diego sports leader, WX 1090.
PRS 1090 AM Rosarito, Baja California.
San Diego sports leader, WX 1090.
Well, you can kick off the summer with the Padres at the Ultimate Cookout, presented by Verizon. That'll be Friday, June 22nd. Come early, sample some of the best barbecue in San Diego starting at 5 o'clock. Plus, after the Padres take on the Mariners at 7:05, you can enjoy the post-game fireworks show. So get those tickets. Do it right now, Padres.com or 619-795-5555. We go to the top of the 4th and a scoreless game. Everett Cabrera will lead off. And squares the bunt. Chops it off a home plate. Tough play for Montero. Out in front of home plate. Makes the throw to first in time. Never took his mask off. And the momentum carried him to the front side of the pitching mound. And out number 1 on a 2-3 putout.
Good idea by Everett. Try to put the bunt down. Get something started here in the 4th. Just didn't get it out there far enough.
Chopped off the plate. And it gave Montero an opportunity. Here's Chase Headley. Headley has the Padres hit. That came in the first. And he'll take a strike. 0-1. Oh, 1 delivery. And that right off the mask of Montero. I'll tell you what, that ball had so much steam on it. It went up over the screen and about 7 or 8 rows deep into the seats. You probably heard that back at home. That was a lot of contact right there.
Shoot, I felt it.
No balls and 2 strikes, and Headley will step out.
Did you ever catch Andy?
I was smart enough to avoid that. Pitch is high, 1-2. I mean, they call it the tools of ignorance. I think it's more of a compliment than it is a derogatory thing, because it takes a special breed to get back there.
Yeah, I was one of those knuckleheads. I caught all the way through high school. Loved it. Didn't love that part of it, though, the old foul ball off the mask.
I mean, you definitely have to be in the game. I mean, every pitch. And there's a line shot to the first baseman. Justin Smoke will pull that out of the sky and make it a second out. Hit well by Headley, and that'll bring up Carlos Quentin.
Second time today that Chase has got a decent swing on a changeup. And Noah C. actually asking Montero now, where was that pitch? Was it elevated? How did he get such a good swing on it? Well, Chase is just pretty good at staying back on the off-speed pitches.
Kind of locked in these days. So here's Quentin. Struck out on a swing called by the home plate umpire, Gary Darling. Pitch outside, ball 1. But everybody wonders why a lot of the most successful managers in big league history have been catchers. It's because you have to be in every pitch and think through strategies and go through meetings and that kind of thing. It's 2-0 now on Quentin.
That's why I've had fun watching Buddy stand up for us former pitchers.
There you go.
Getting it done.
Blazing the trail. There have been a few through the years. Roger Craig comes to mind with the Giants.
Sure.
Swing and a miss on the 2-0. Now 2-1 on Quentin.
Not mistaken, Tommy Lasorda was a former minor league pitcher, was he not?
He was.
Things didn't turn out too badly for him.
Yeah, I think he did okay. Two balls and 1 strike. Here comes the pitch to Carlos Quentin. Takes it in on the hands. It's 3-1. So Noah C. working into the 4th inning here. Again, we've mentioned his last 2 starts. It's been the 4th inning or 1 out into the 5th. And that has been it for him. And he walks Carlos Quentin with 2 outs. That'll bring up Mark Kotsay with a runner out at first base. Scoreless into the top of the 4th.
Hey fans, this season you can enjoy a free hot dog and free Coke at over 20 games with the Coke Value Deal. Choose one of 4 seating areas at any of the designated games and receive a free Coke and hot dog with your game ticket. Visit Padres.com/on-deck today.
Pitch to Kotsay, foul to the screen. And no balls and 1 strike on Mark Kotsay.
Kott's getting some good swings on some fastballs. He was frustrated with himself in his last at bat, flying out to left field on a pitch that he thought he should have been able to drive a little bit better. But it looks like he's seeing Noah C. fairly well.
Now the 0-1. And a tie. 1-1 to count on Mark Kotsay. Now those 6 RBIs, as mentioned, have all put the Padres in front. It would take a bit of an extra base hit here with 2 outs to move that forward. Let's see if Kotz can get on here. He'll check and take it low. It's 2-1.
And he was looking off speed. He saw 2 fastballs in his first 2 pitches of this at bat, and you could just tell by the way he took that pitch. He's one of the best at thinking along with pitchers, actually thinking ahead of them to try to give himself an advantage on getting a good swing at the delivery.
Quentin at first with a short lead. Scoreless in the top of the 4th. Here comes the pitch. Kotsay lays off. It's 3-1. Kotsay has some good numbers against the Mariners in his career. A .302 hitter with 5 homers and 44 RBIs. .3-1 pitch. Line sharply foul. Straight back and out of play. Had a good pitch to Rip. Kotsay kind of mimicking the swing with his right arm. And now with his left arm, trying to get that muscle memory thing going on a full count here with Quentin taking off on this pitch. Smoke will back up and play behind him. Now there goes Carlos. 3-2 pitch is taken a little bit low and inside, ball 4. I think the veteran got the benefit of that call. And 2 on with 2 outs, and that'll bring up Yonder Alonso. So a couple of 2-out walks prolong this inning and give the Padres a chance. And a tie game, 0-0 here in the 4th.
Fans Padre Baseball brought to you by Miller Lite. If it's not Miller Lite, it's not Miller time. With great beer comes great responsibility.
Now the first one, and Alonso will foul it out of play. Third base side off the facade of that upper deck.
You know, Andy, I wonder if Yonder has gotten just a little bit conscious of pulling the ball. He got worked inside so much for a couple of weeks there. We've seen some pitches that normally I would think he'd be driving opposite field, and he's just pulling off them just a little bit, it looks like.
0-1 pitch. And again, foul out of play, third base side, 0-2. That ball played a little plinko from the top level to the second level, all the way back down to the first level. And unfortunately for the Mariners, there are a lot of empty seats for that ball to doink off of and head from deck to deck.
Yeah, another light crowd here tonight. It's a shame. Beautiful stadium.
0-2 now. Way inside. Slider at the feet. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Yonder Alonso.
He's got to win games, and the Mariners not only have not been winning games in general, but especially here at home.
Quentin's at second. Kotze's at first with 2 outs. Scoreless game at the top of the 4th inning. Nose's pitch and grounded to short. Slowly to Kawasaki. No one covered second base. He'll throw on to first in time, and that's the inning. So the Padres don't score. They strand a pair. We head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Still scoreless. Padre Baseball on San Diego's sports leader, XX 1090.
7.5 beds, superior service, best selection, lowest price guaranteed. Sleep Train is your ticket to a better night's sleep.
Gabriel on San Diego's sports leader, XX 1090.
Still no score. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. And the batter will be Kyle Seager coming up here against Jason Marquis. Seager drew a walk and then was caught stealing in the first inning. And now bats for the second time against the veteran right-hander Jason Marquis. And he gets ahead with a called strike 1. Marquis making his 37th career appearance and 29th start in interleague play. 10-9 is his record. Well, that one misses outside, evens the count at 1-1.
Marquis has been using that 2-seam fastball quite a bit. A few cutters, but mostly 2-seamers.
Seager having a little trouble with his footing in that left-hand batter's box. Asked for time, and now we'll dig in. Slightly open stance from the left side, and the 1-1 now from Marquis is popped up third base side. That will slice foul and be out of play. 1-2.
You know, it's frustrating as a hitter when you're facing a guy throwing a good hard 2-seamer that's running away from you. Your first instinct is you're trying to pull the ball. You just see it. It looks like a pitch that you can get on. You try to pull it, it runs off the end of your bat. Well, your second time up, you start thinking to yourself, okay, maybe I can stay inside of it and try to shoot it opposite field. And that's what Seager was trying to do on that pitch.
1-2 the count. And the pitch from Marquis to Seager. Again, fouled out of play, third base side. We'll do it again. Now, Andrew Kashner made his first start in Double-A tonight. San Antonio leading at Corpus Christi 4-3. They're playing in the 7th. Cash went 3 1/3. Gave up 4 hits, a couple of runs. Didn't walk a batter, struck out 4, and throwing 52 pitches. Swinging a foul there in and out of the glove of Nick Hundley, 1-2. So the progression will continue as he works to become a starter. But 52 pitches, not a bad first start.
How many innings did you say?
3 1/3.
Okay, so he stretched out a little bit. About the same number of pitches as he threw in his last outing here in the big leagues. One more inning of work. Moving along.
1-2 delivery. Bounce slowly to short. Back up toward the middle now. Cabrera will field and throw out Seager for out number 1.
Well, you put that in the memory bank. You saw him not get good swings on about 6 consecutive two-seam fastballs away. And if I'm sitting on the Padre bench and I'm watching Jason Marquis today, I'm logging that. And that's one thing you're doing as a starting pitcher. And even in the bullpen as well. If you see a guy that's on the mound that's throwing similar repertoire that you have, I mean, obviously it's not going to do me as a right-hander a whole lot of good to watch the left-hander throw. But watch, see how guys are reacting to pitches and make a difference later in the game when you come in.
Jesus Montero will take a strike. 0-1. Actually, I had a partial score on that game. It actually has gone final already. It was Corpus Christi coming back with a 7-run 8th to beat the Missions 10-6. That is a final. Here comes the 0-1, and that's golfed into left field. That's a base hit. Kotze over to play it. And Montero has his second base hit. 1 to center, 1 to left, and a 1-out base runner. Justin Smoke will come up. Scoreless in the 4th. And fans, enjoy a Padres game with your friends. You can save with Bud's Night Out. When you buy one Padres ticket, you can get a second ticket half off on select games and seating areas only. Get your tickets today. You can do so by heading to Padres.com/on-deck. And we'll see you at the ball yard. Another interleague series coming up here on the road before the Padres will return home for yet another interleague series against the high-flying Texas Rangers. Smoke takes a strike inside, well inside on the corner for a strike. 0-1. Smoke drew a walk and got as far as second base in the 2nd. Oh, 1 by Marquis. Low for a ball, 1-1. Four hits total in the game. 3 belong to the Mariners. But 0 is in the run column. And a high fly ball down the right field line. Well out in front and well foul. And out of play. 1-2.
That's exactly what you want out of the little cutter in on the hands. It went fastball away. Fastball intended. Away went down a little bit. Now you come up with that cutter on the hands of the left-hander. Very hard for them to keep that ball fair. It's almost like an automatic strike. If you can put on that inside 5th, get him to swing the bat, he's probably going to pull it foul.
1-2 pitch. Just missed outside. It's even now 2-2.
And then you come back with the changeup away.
Nationals win at Toronto 6-2. The Nationals have won 6 in a row. Steven Strasburg is now 8-1. The only loss for the San Diego Padres. Struck out 8. First pitcher in the majors to 100 strikeouts. Had a slight cut on his right middle finger and had to leave the game after 6 innings.
See a Cy Young in his future, Andy?
I think so. Could be multiple.
Sooner rather than later, too.
2-2 missing outside. Again, not a good feel for that pitch from Jason Marquis. Full count, 3-2.
Yeah, and he's frustrated with himself because he knew he had Smoke set up for the changeup on the previous pitch as well. After that good cutter in on his hands to get 2 strikes. Pulled off the changeup previously. Really pulled off that last one. And instead of having Smoke sitting down like I think he thinks he should have him, he's still up there in a 3-2 count.
And Nick Hundley asked for time there, patting his chest protector to let Marquis know that he's the one that called timeout. Had a nice chat with Nick on the bench today. There comes a 3-2 pitch, and he swung out of his shoes at a pitch that was basically in the dirt. And Smoke strikes himself out, and that's out number 2. On the 3rd strikeout for Jason Marquis.
Well, that was the one he was trying to throw the previous 2 pitches. The changeup that comes in right at the knees down the middle of the plate. Batter thinks it's going to be a fastball, goes for it, and then it drops out of the zone. Came up with a nice pitch on the 3-2 count.
There's Michael Saunders in a scoreless game. I purposely went up to Nick to find out how he got so in sync yesterday with Clayton Richard. Richard was just heaping a ton of praise on him for the game he called last night. Pitches low and in for ball one. And Nick told me something interesting. He said that this has been one of the most challenging years for him as a big league catcher. With all the changes on the staff, you wouldn't think it. I mean, there's some guys that are familiar, but Nick is in charge of learning everybody's tendencies. He has to know what guys are comfortable throwing in certain situations. Pitches inside 2-0. And he said it has been a bit of a challenge. He has to get to the ballpark extra early, but in the same breath, he said, we get paid a lot of money to do this sport and to play this sport and to do it right. And I intend to do it right. Two-0 pitch. There's a strike at the knees. 2-1.
Well, Nick's always been an extremely hard worker. And his defensive side of the game, to me, has improved tremendously since he first came up. And I think a credit to him as well. We all know that he's been struggling with the bat of late, but yet obviously he's not let that affect his defensive side and certainly his handling of the staff.
There's a lot that goes into that position as we were discussing. 2-1. Check swing. They want an appeal. No swing. It's 3-1.
Well, there's no question about it. And as a pitcher, you know when your catcher is getting wrapped up in his previous at bat. You go back out there and you can just tell the guy's not focused. He's not on the same wavelength with you about things, and you can just tell the guy is distracted because of the offense. And those are guys, and coaches will ask you, hey, how do you like throwing to so-and-so? Well, he's fine, except he's worrying about his bat hitting more than his catching.
And that one missed low. Ball four. 2 on now with 2 away. Saunders will take first. That'll push Montero to second. And batter will be John Jaso. In the fourth inning, we are scoreless. But there's so much that goes into that position. Not only, again, you have meetings before the game, obviously, to go over a scouting report. And now, not only are there a bunch of changes on his own pitching staff, you're facing a team that you don't always see. And you have to get a good game plan going against the opposition. There's a strike on the inside corner, 0-1.
Yeah, and to take it one step further, as we talked about, some changes on this roster today for the Mariners. So now there's a couple more guys in the lineup, one guy in the lineup, another guy on the bench. And how are we going to work those guys? So it's constantly changing. It's not like you figure it out. Okay, I've been up here for 3 or 4 years. I've got this thing mastered. It's changing, not just day to day, but literally from inning to inning and sometimes pitch to pitch.
0-1 pitch. Another high strike called. It's 0-2. And you can bring up anything other than that to Nick. You want to talk about his hitting, and he just kind of smiles and says, it's going to come. It'll come along. Great young man. Fun to talk baseball with.
Good kid, hard worker.
0-2. And they try to get him to fish outside. Nothing doing. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Long set and a pitch on a jam shot into shallow right. Good break by Will Venable coming in to make the grab, and that's the inning. So again, Marquis bounces out of some trouble. And runners on at first and second and strands them right there. We're through 4. Padres 0, Mariners 0. Padre Baseball, San Diego Sports Leader, XX 1090. As we head to the 5th inning, brought to you by Subway. This June, come to Subway. Try the oven-roasted chicken breast with spinach. The $5 featured footlong for the month of June only. Subway. Eat fresh. No score. As Cameron Maben will lead off here against Hector Noesi. And the first pitch is outside for ball 1 to Cameron Maben. Struck out looking his first time up. And he lines one foul down the right field line and well out of play. Count evens at a ball and a strike.
Everything away so far to Cameron Maben. His first at bat, all fastballs and sliders, and they finished him off with a slider away. So far this at bat, same thing, staying away from him.
And again away, this time low and away, 2-1. A little bit more information about that Mets win over Tampa, 9-1 the final. R.A. Dickey with a complete game one hitter. First 10-game winner in the majors. He is 10-1. They've been trying to hold and couldn't. It's 2-2. Over his last 5 starts, he is 5-0. He's given up 2 runs and has struck out 50 and walked only 3.
That's the amazing part to me for a knuckleballer. And we saw him. We actually got that streak started when we saw him. And I was amazed at the command that he had of that thing, bounced all over the place.
Sharp breaking slider. Checked on and taken for a ball. It's full count, 3-2 on Maben.
I mean, you see knuckleballers with the ball's moving all over the place, but very few of them really have an idea where it goes. They say, yeah, I let go of it, and then I don't know what it's going to do. But he had great command of that thing.
The only hit in the game came in the first inning, as Maben is set down on strikes, swing and a miss. 5th strikeout for an OC, and 1 away. Nick Hundley will come up. They came in the first inning. It was an infield single by B.J. Upton, and there was some discussion that it should have been an error. And of course, in the first inning, you never know if that's going to be the only quote-unquote hit in a game, so it's hard to obviously go back and revise history at that point.
That's where a scorekeeper's sitting there for the next 8 innings, hoping for a line drive in center field.
Someone get a hit. Someone please get a hit. Foul out of play on the first pitch by Hundley. So 32 2/3 of scoreless innings pitched by R.A. Dickey before the Rays scored a run in the bottom of the 9th inning with an error and a pass ball. A couple of pass balls and then an RBI ground out. So not like they were really hitting very hard. Swing and a miss, 0-2 on Hundley. So the Mets win 9-1. The Mets are now 34-29, staying 5 games behind the Nationals in the East. Here we're scoreless in the top of the 5th. 0-2 pitch to Hundley. A little bit inside, perhaps. 1-2. And some more late breaking news about that one quote-unquote hit as Hundley gets into one into left field. Backing up on that one as Wells toward the wall. He'll reach up and make the catch about a foot in front of the wall. Hundley just missed, and he flies out to deep left, 2 away.
Off-speed pitch. I'm guessing it was a changeup. They'd come up with a changeup on the pitch before and just barely missed inside with it. Actually, looking at it again, I think it might have been a slider that just didn't slide quite as much as Noah C. had hoped. And after having slowed Nick's bat down with the changeup on the previous pitch, Nick got a pretty good swing on it, just a little bit off the end.
So here's Amarista. Well, the Mets are apparently going to appeal that scorer's decision. And if MLB feels that it was an erroneous call, they can overturn that. And boy, that'd be something to overturn it. And how would you celebrate that no-hitter like 2 weeks later? Pitch in for a strike to Amarista. And he fouls the next one out of play. 0-2.
I think you call the skipper if you're MLB. You tell him of the decision, and then the skipper calls a team meeting. Hey, boys, we have an announcement to make. And that way you give a chance for everybody to come in and celebrate and do the dog pile and hopefully not get somebody hurt.
Well, if that's the case, I mean, that would be the second Mets no-hitter this year after not having one in their team history, which is now stretching into its 50th year.
How about that? Great point. Tom Seaver couldn't get it done. Johan Santana and R.A. Dickey doubling up.
1-2 pitch to Amarista, smashed up the middle into center field, a base hit. So a 2-out single for Alexi Amarista. Keeps the inning moving. Back to the top of the order for Will Venable in this scoreless game here in the 5th.
Yeah, big smile on Alexi's face. It's been a little while since he's gotten some consistent playing time. You have to go all the way back to June 2nd, I think, was his last start.
I came in defensively the last time. Well, that was a few games ago in Milwaukee where he made his first appearance in the outfield. But, yeah, starts. Been a while. Other scores from around baseball today. Cincinnati beat Cleveland 5-3 in that Battle of Ohio. The Reds have a lead on the Pirates now by 2 games in the Central. Matt Latos went 7. Struck out 7 and is now 5-2. As Venable stands in. Cardinals beat the White Sox 1-0. Lance Lynn actually moments after Ari Dickey won his 10th, wins his 10th. Career high 12 strikeouts. Close play at first, but Amarista back on the bag. Carlos Beltran with his 19th home run of the season, leading the National League, and it came against Jake Peavy, the only run of the game. Venable awaiting the first pitch of his at-bat here in the 5th. Here it comes outside. Amarista bluffed the move, and Montero came up ready to throw, but Amarista got back to the bag. 1 ball, no strikes.
Notice with a pretty quick move over to first base. He's got quick feet, and more importantly, out of a big guy at 6'3", oftentimes they'll have a long arm movement. He gets the ball out of his glove and over to first base fairly quickly.
Another throw over, pretty close again, but Amarista back on the bag.
And it can be deceiving. Oftentimes guys will work on their footwork and are thinking, gosh, I keep trying to get my footwork going, and they don't realize, well, if you don't get that ball out of your glove quickly and keep your hand high when you pull it out of your glove, guys will have a tendency to drop the arm, and that just slows it down. But if you can do it like Noah C., get it out quick, stay on top, and get some guys.
Fastball missing outside, 2-0.
Hey, you mix in a slide step like he did right there once in a while, it'll really make it difficult to steal a bag.
No score in our game here in the 5th. 2 outs and a man at first base is Amarista. 2 balls and no strikes on Will Venable. There goes Amarista. Had a pretty good jump. Throw on down to second base is going to be in time. That was a strong throw from basically a seated position by Montero. And after a good jump, Amarista is gunned down trying to steal second base on a caught stealing 2-6. And the inning has come to an end. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Padres nothing and the Mariners nothing. This is Padre Baseball on San Diego Sports Leader WX10.
WX 1090.
Bottom of the 5th. And still scoreless here at Safeco Field, home of the Seattle Mariners, as Casper Wells will lead off. And first pitch inside on a slider, ball 1. As we get to know Casper Wells, scoreboard tells us that his favorite song is Your Love by the Outfield. That's a great tune, by the way. About 1986, 87 from the CD Play Deep. Bouncing ball into left field for a base hit. Probably more than they needed to know. And Wells aboard with a lead single.
Show off.
You know, you remember where you were when you heard that song for the first time. And
I don't even remember that song.
Yeah. Oh, sure you do. Josie's on a vacation far away.
Oh, that one.
Come on, let's talk it over.
1984, Spartanburg, South Carolina.
Yeah, I think it might have been a little later than that.
Really?
I'll have Dave Marcus look that up. Not that I don't trust you or anything, but
no. I thought I was have a little.
I thought it was a little later than that. Kawasaki will square to bunt and take it outside for ball 1.
Having the A-ball flashback, but maybe it was Tommy Newell in 1980. 45, 6, 7, 88.
No, actually, it was a little bit later than 84. It was 85.
Okay. Oh, that's right.
I remember that being after my freshman year in college. Man running. Amarista will still get the play at second and on to first in time. Quick shuffle there by Amarista at second base to Cabrera with a strong throw back across the diamond. 4-6-3 on that double play.
Well, it helped out that everybody was crashing in on second base with the runner going, and Amarista was already heading that direction. Easy quick flip over to second, and then once Cabby gets the ball in his hand, you know he's going to fire it over to first base in time. Book him, Dano.
Yeah, Josie was on a vacation far away on that double play right there.
Yeah, it was 85 because 84 I signed, 85 was Spartanburg, South Carolina.
Okay. It's all about the musical soundtrack in your life. Pitch in there to Ichiro for strike 1. 0-1. Scoreless baseball here in the bottom of the 5th. Good defense here again by the San Diego Padres. And Ichiro slaps one foul. Left field side, out of play. Does not have a favorite tune up there for Ichiro on the scoreboard.
I doubt we'd be able to pronounce it, Andy.
Good point.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but my Japanese is a little rusty right now.
Yeah, mine is non-existent. And a shot to right field, a base hit right over the outstretched glove of Yonder Alonso. This is going to be extra bases for Ichiro. He will pull into second with a 2-out double on an 0-2 pitch. Well, double
Jason,
play is big now, huh?
Yeah, it is, no question. And Jason tried to go back-to-back changeups, and Ichiro is out front a little bit on the first one, as he was in his previous at-bat when he struck out, but he's made the adjustment, stayed back on that one nicely, and rips it down the right field line. And as you said, Andy, makes that double play even that much more large.
So the base hit. Ichiro now 3 hits away from 2,500. Person counting how many hits that Ichiro has this season. That's number 69 for him. As Dustin Ackley will take strike one. So again, Marquis will try to strand a man in scoring position. He has made 73 pitches so far, but they have been some stressful pitches with men on base pretty much all night. Now the 0-1 delivery way inside. It's even 1-1. Long look in here by Marquis. Bounce to first. Nice play there by Alonso. He'll wave off the help and get to the bag in front of Ackley. And that is it for the Mariners here in the 5th inning. Nice job again by Jason Marquis to pitch out of danger and strand a man at second. No runs. A couple of hits and 1 man left after 5. Padres nothing, Mariners nothing. This is Padre Baseball on San Diego Sports Leader WX 1090.
Sports Leader WX 1090.
So Will Venable will lead off. He was at the plate when Amaristo was cut down trying to steal to end the 5th. They would play in the top of the 6th inning and still scoreless baseball. Venable 0 for 2, a strikeout and a groundout, which wound up being a double play. And he'll check and take a strike on the first pitch from Hector Noesi. 0-1. 274 average coming into this at bat here for Will Venable. And a big wave and a miss. No balls, 2 strikes on Will Venable. Yankees a winner 3-2 at Atlanta tonight. Yankees have won 6 straight. Curtis Granderson hit his 19th. That ball bounced in. 1-2. Baltimore wins at Pittsburgh 7-1. Wilson Benameet was 3 for 3 with a home run, 3 runs batted in. Second place all alone now are the Baltimore Orioles, 1 game behind the first place Yankees. Venable pops one up, foul territory, third base. Crossing through the coach's box is Seager, and he'll make the catch for out number 1. They'll bring up Cabrera. Scoreless in the 6th, now 1 away.
Hey, fans, follow the Padres with the MLB.com @BAT12 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text @BAT to 31826 or visit Padres.com for details.
It's a great app, by the way. I use it quite a bit here in the booth. Cabrera, a little flare down the left field line. That ball is going to sink and fall fair, just fair. Heading towards second base now Cabrera. Wells will come up throwing, but it'll be late. Bloop double down the left field line for Everett Cabrera with 1 away. And the Padres have a man in scoring position here in the 6th inning, and that will bring to the plate Chase Headley.
That's exactly what they need to try to get something started. The base runners have been few and far between, and even fewer with less than 2 outs. So with the meat of the order coming up, golden opportunity to break this tie ball game, Andy.
So Cabrera at second base with 1 out. And Headley singled and lined out to first. 1 for 2. Big swing and a miss. Boy, he ramped up on that fastball, didn't he?
Yeah, he's trying to rear it back. He doesn't have the same velo that he had early in the game when he was hitting 94, 95, but still 90, 91, 92. And still good life on the end of it.
A look back at Cabrera at second. Out of the plate. Headley swinging a miss. The ball's 2 strikes quickly. Red Sox win in Miami 10-2. Adrian Gonzalez 3 for 5 with a couple of runs batted in. Marlins in a bit of a tailspin, have lost 8 of their last 9. Here's the 0-2 to Headley. A little bit inside. That was close. 1-2. Well, Texas gets a win at home over Arizona. How about this? In Texas, 1-0.
Don't see that too often.
Not at all. Craig Gentry with an RBI single in the 8th inning. Mike Adams gets his first win of the season in relief. One-two pitch to Headley. Hopped him up. And a very shallow left. Coming in now is Wells. He'll make the catch. And a big second out for the Mariners. Carlos Quentin will come up, a chance to knock in the first run of the game.
All night long, Noah C. has done a pretty good job of working the ball hard in, either with the fastball or the cut fastball on the hands of the left-handers, then following it up with the changeup. And he's not trying to do too much with that changeup away. He's been able to just throw it on the outer half, let the Padre hitters sort of be out in front of it off the end.
Well, they're not going to let Quentin get a chance. They're going to intentionally walk him here with first base open to get to Mark Kotsay.
I don't think the veteran's going to take too kindly to that, Andy.
I hope he doesn't. So there's ball 2. Tigers beat the Cubs tonight 8-4 at Wrigley. Brennan Bosch home run, a couple of runs batted in, a 4 for 5 night. There's ball 3. Phillies beat the Twins in Minnesota 9-8. Jim Thome with a big homecoming. Played last year in Minnesota, at least part of the season. 2 for 4, 4 runs batted in, his 606th career home run, second of the year. Trevor Plouffe, the Twins third baseman, had a home run tonight. He has 4 of those in his last 5 games. So the intentional walk issued. First and second now with 2 outs for Kotsay.
Most of the night they've worked Mark Kotsay away. He flew out to left field in the first on a fastball away. Then he worked a walk. And that came on all fastballs and changeups. So let's see if they try to stick with that game plan and whether Kotz starts anticipating something out over.
Kotsay takes high for ball 1. Kotsay hits one into the air to left. Playable for Wells. He is there and he has it. And the Padres walk away with nothing here in the 6th. They strand a pair. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Padres nothing, Mariners nothing. This is Padre Baseball on San Diego's sports leader, XX 1090. All right, Jordan scoreless, bottom 6. And Kyle Seager will lead off here against Jason Marquis. We've had a total of 8 hits in the game. 3 for the Padres, 5 for the Mariners. Neither team has had a man get to third base yet tonight. Bounced towards second. Nice little pick there by Amarista. And he'll throw him out for round number 1. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Pattern continues with Seager. They just stayed 2-seamer away as he looked really poor on him in the previous at bat. Swinging at the first one, this at bat, grounding it out. Good to know for that Padre pitching staff.
Well, the game in Kansas City has gone final. Jose Veras, who threw all those curveballs in that game against the Padres on Sunday.
Damn, that was a lot of curveballs.
Issued a walk-off walk. And the Royals win it 4-3 over Milwaukee.
I bet it was a curveball.
Probably was.
I've never seen a guy come out of the pen throw as many curveballs as he did. Honestly.
Yeah, he threw. I think he threw a total of 3 fastballs
out of 20 pitches.
Exactly. It was amazing. Hard shot to short. Knocked down there by Cabrera. Recovers in time. Spins and throws in time to get Montero. Nice play there by Cabrera. Hanging right with that one on that sharply hit baseball off the bat of Montero. 2 away.
Man, Montero does crush the fastball down in the zone. Another good pitch down, and he just gets a great swing on it. And give credit to Everth Cabrera. We just continue to see him develop as a shortstop. We've seen the growth at the plate. Now we're seeing it in the field as well. Takes it off the chest. Doesn't panic. Stays under control. Picks it up. Keeps his feet underneath him. Perfect throw to first. Nice recovery, Cabby.
Somebody said something very interesting about Cabrera. There's a high fly ball to deep right center field. Backing up on that Maven. At the wall, he makes the catch. Justin Smoke is beside himself. That ball was hit and was certainly ticketed toward the right center field seats, but it just hung up. And Cameron Maven able to haul that ball in right at the wall to retire the side. So the Mariners go in order. We have played 6. Padres nothing. Mariners nothing. Padre baseball. San Diego sports leader XX 1090.
Leader XX 1090.
On the first pitch of this 7th inning, Yonder Alonso drives one to deep right field, and that ball's going to go. Yonder Alonso with his 2nd home run of the season. A deep shot into right center. And the Padres have taken a 1-0 lead here in the 7th.
Well, Andy, we were just talking about how Justin Smoke seemed to get all of one and it didn't go anywhere. Yonder Alonso, first pitch, looked like a changeup, and he left it up and out over. They've done a really nice job of staying away from him most of the ball game with hard fastballs. They make a mistake with the off speed, and Yonder makes him pay.
Just as we were talking about Justin Smoke in between innings, he drove one a little bit further toward the straightaway center area than that ball went. But Yonder Alonso with his 2nd home run of the season, and the Padres take a 1-0 lead. Maven pops one up down the right field side. Long run for Ackley, and he makes the catch in foul ground. That was a nice play by the second baseman. And 1 away, but Yonder Alonso, it's his 2nd home run, his 1st since the middle of May when the Padres were in Philadelphia.
Yeah, it was some man-sized pop. You know, his trip around the diamond was sponsored by Daniels Jewelers. For every Padres home run in June, the Daniels Jewelers family will contribute $1,000 to the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, adding tomorrow's every day. Daniels Jewelers, making diamond dreams come true since 1948.
First swing and a pop-up right in front of home plate. First baseman Smoke will call off the catcher Montero and make the catch in foul ground. So a couple of foul outs right after the home run. And Alexi Amarista will come to the plate.
All right, hopefully somebody spoke to Alexi as he's walking up there. Just gave him a little whisper. Hey, kid, take your time going up there. Take a few pitches. Basically, we've had a 3-pitch inning, even though the run is scored.
Well, Marquis coming off a 4-pitch inning, in which the Mariners went in order in the 6th. So Alonso picks on the first pitch and drives it out of here as Alessi gives up his 15th home run of the year. He came in number 7 in home runs allowed in the American League.
Well, most of those home runs obviously have come on the road. Not easy to hit them here in this ballpark.
Amarista takes high. It's 2 balls and no strikes.
That's the 5th one he's allowed here. He's allowed 10 on the road. But if there's one place where the ball does travel, it is towards right field.
There's a strike call. 2-1. First home run since May 11th, to be exact. On a home run that went off the signage on the facade in right field at Citizens Bank Park. Swinging a foul. Oh, that got the microphone, I think. 2-2. Lucas Lutke is warming up in the bullpen. Left-hander for the Mariners. 2-2 pitch. Amarista flares one to the left. That's a base hit. So Amarista will keep the inning continuing and bring the top of the order to the plate with Will Venable. 1-0 is the Padres lead here in the 7th.
That's a nice little piece, Alexi. Second hit in a row off a changeup. The first one was a changeup up that he was able to line into left field. That one was a pretty darn good changeup down. He was able to go down and fillet it into left field.
So here is Venable. Will 0 for 3 in the ball game. Amarista draws the throw. Not in time. Dodgers and Angels knotted up at 1 there in the 6th inning. The Giants are pounding the Astros in the lone National League game 10-0 in the 5th.
Oof. Somebody's going to have a rough box score out of that one.
Oof. There goes Amarista. Throw by Montero again. Cuts down Amarista. Seemed to have a good jump once again, but he's thrown out trying to steal for the 2nd time tonight. And the inning has come to an end. Caught stealing 2-6, but Yonder Alonso's solo home run to deep right field has put the Padres on the board as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Padres 1, Mariners nothing. Padre Baseball on San Diego Sports Leader XX 1090.
XEPRS 1090 AM Rosarito, Baja California.
San Diego Sports Leader XX 1090.
Padres lead 1-0. As we go to the bottom of the 7th inning, Michael Saunders will lead off here against Jason Marquis and take a fastball for ball 1 outside.
Only pitch number 80 by Marquis coming into the 7th inning. Has been fairly efficient, Andy.
Yeah, 4-pitch inning in the 6th.
That helps.
That does help. There's a pitch in for a strike. Goes the breaking ball, 1-1. Well, the A's came back to beat the Rockies 10-8. Swing and a miss. Tied them up beautifully inside, 1-2. Rockies have fallen on hard times. They have now lost 7 straight games. 24-37 on the year. The 1-2 pitch to Saunders. Fouled on the first base side. Troy Tulowitzki was beginning a rehab assignment today. He hit a home run, but then had to leave the game. He aggravated that groin injury and is headed back to Denver to see the team's doctors.
Tell you what, groin injury is not good. Seen those really hamper careers.
Gets him looking. Strike 3 called inside corner. Saunders knew it. That's out number 1. I'm going to bring up John Jaso, the DH.
Saunders frozen. Marquis worked him over. Slider down in that he swung over. Then the changeup down and away. Then came back with that 2-seam fastball right at the hip. Took it for strike 3.
Jaso fouls the first pitch out of play. Third base side. No balls, 1 strike.
You know, part of what makes that pitch so effective later in the game, after you've thrown for 30, 40 pitches, you get even more movement. You lose on the velocity a little bit, but oftentimes you'll see guys get even more movement on that 2-seam fastball.
No balls and 1 strike. The pitch to Jaso. Got the outside corner for a strike. It's 0-2. Marquis blowing into that right hand. A little chilly out there on the field. Started at 57 degrees. I imagine it's probably around 51 or 52 right now. 0-2 delivery. Worked him inside but missed. 1-2.
Tried to do the same thing they did at Saunders. Came in with that 2-seam fastball in, trying to catch that inside corner. Just started off a little bit too far inside.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And now Marquis winds and delivers. A little bit outside with a breaking ball. It's 2-2. We're talking about rehab assignments. Charlie Manuel says that he expects Chase Utley to return the first week of July, but yesterday in that first official rehab game, he strikes out 3 times.
And in true Philly fan fashion,
gets booed by the fans in Clearwater. That's where the Phillies single A affiliate is. 2-2 is high and outside. A full count, 3-2. I mean, come on. It's a rehab game. He's trying to work his way back.
Hey, Philly fans have a standard to uphold, Andy.
I know. He's not Santa Claus, but close, I guess.
He brings a World Series. It's the next best thing.
How quickly they forget. 3-2 pitch. And that's a little bit low and outside. It's ball 4. So a 1-out base runner. Tying run goes to first base. The batter will be Casper Wells. And Darren Balsley picking up the phone there in the dugout, ringing down to the bullpen to get some activity going.
You know, I still have to wonder, though, Andy, even after Chase Utley comes back, is it the Chase Utley? And I already know the answer. The answer is no. It's not the same Chase Utley of 3 years ago. Still better to have him back, of course, but I think there might be some false expectations about what he's really going to be able to provide when he does return.
Pitch outside, 1-0. Times continue to get tough for the Phillies as Joe Thatcher begins to loosen. As Freddie Galvis, who got off to a very good start in his rookie season as a replacement for Chase Utley, found out today he's going to be in a back brace for about 3 weeks. He has a fractured vertebra, and it's a possibility he could be out for the entire season.
Well, I think if you're the Phillies, you have to realistically start asking yourself, hey, is the run over? They've had an amazing 4 or 5 years of success and being a contender, not just a contender, but prime contender. And it has that run its course. Time to start dismantling and start the rebuilding process.
1-0 delivery, and that's low, 2-0.
And I think we might find out their answer to that question and how they handle Cole Hamels.
Very true.
Last year of his contract, do they sign him back? Do they think they have enough that they can continue to build around him, or is it time to move him and get some pieces back? We'll wait and see.
2 balls and no strikes on Casper Wells. Runner at first base, Jaso. Swing and a miss. Could not hold on the breaking ball. 2-1. One to nothing. Padres in front. Home run. Top of the 7th inning. Lead batter by Yonder Alonso. That is the only run of the game to this point. Short lead by Jaso at first. And the 2-1. Line to right. That's a base hit. Venable will play it and get it back to the infield, holding Jaso at second. So 2 on with 1 away for Kawasaki, and that will bring a visit from Darren Balsley, the pitching coach of the San Diego Padres.
Yeah, tough combination right there. He had a change up on the 2-0 pitch, and Jaso was way out in front of it, so he tried to come back with another off-speed pitch. I think it was a slider, and it caught just a little bit too much of the plate. And the slider after the changeup. Be a little careful with that combination, and if you leave that second off-speed pitch in the zone after slowing his bat down with the changeup, well, that's usually what happens. Line drive, base hit.
Keeping an eye on the Giants game, we told you it was a 10-0 lead for the Giants into the 6th inning. It's also a Matt Cain perfect game. He has struck out 11 already in the game through the first 6 innings and has not allowed a base runner. So the visit over. And again, Thatcher tuning up in the pen. Kawasaki at the plate. And a pitch inside. What a great block there by Nick Hundley. Kawasaki with 1 hit and grounded into a double play. He's also stolen a base tonight. Padres have a 1-0 lead here in the 7th inning. Home run by Yonder Alonso in the top. That is it. So first and second now for Seattle with 1 out. Check swing on a called strike, and it's 1-1. Good pitch by Marquis. One delivery. Slap foul. Third base side out of play. 1-2. Well, like you say, you're 1 pitch from getting out of it. You get a strikeout here or a ground ball and head back to the dugout.
Well, the hit that Kawasaki had earlier was on a fastball away that was a little bit elevated. He tried pulling it through the right side. Then they were able to get him out on a changeup. They rolled up the double play. Let's see if they can go off speed down away again and get him to roll over. Maybe do another 4-6-3.
1-2. Grounded to the right side. Amarista ranging a long way. Has one play only. First base, and then Alonso dropped the ball. Everybody's safe. The bases are loaded. Amarista had to charge to his left toward first base, then threw. The only play he had was first. And Alonso dropped the baseball. E3. Everybody's safe. The bases are loaded now for Ichiro.
Well, Marquis made his pitch exactly as we had anticipated. Off-speed pitch. Kawasaki did what he was expected to do. He rolled over it, ground ball to the right side. Not custom double play like the previous one. As you mentioned, Amarista had a long way to go, but Yonder just catching that ball too far off the end of his mitt, and it just rolled out.
And that's going to do it for Jason Marquis. With Ichiro at the plate, Buddy Black will go and get the left-hander, Joe Thatcher, who has been loosening. And we'll have a pitching change, which is brought to you by the United Food.
WX 1090.
So the bases are loaded for the Mariners here in the 7th inning with one out. And Joe Thatcher has come out of the Padres bullpen in a very unenviable situation. Bases loaded, and Ichiro Suzuki at the plate. 1-0 is the Padres lead. An error charge to Yonder Alonso resulted in everybody being safe on the bases. And they're loaded. So Thatcher faced two hitters yesterday, gave him a home run and a double, and gets ahead with strike one to Ichiro. Ichiro with a double his last time is 1 for 3 in the game. Slap foul, third base side and out of play. It's 0-2.
A good chance he's going to see the Joe Thatcher slider now to try to put him away.
Not a guy you can count on to strike out. Let's put it to you that way. Generally speaking, he gets a bat on the ball.
He doesn't chase a whole lot. What was interesting, the strikeout earlier was on a fastball inner third.
To third. Headley has it. He'll come home, and they get that runner. That's it. Ball was hit sharply and came up on Headley. He throws home on the 5-2 fielder's choice. And now with two away, bases remain loaded, and Dustin Ackley will come to the plate.
Oh, that's a huge out. They stayed hard on him. All fastballs, fastball in, fastball away. They went fastball away again. It was elevated, and Ichiro chopped it into the ground. And thank goodness the ground here not as hard as it has been in some of the other stadiums the Padres play at. Otherwise, that ball might go over Chase's head.
If that's Milwaukee, it's down the line and left. Good Joe Thatcher pitch on the inside corner. Called a strike. 0-1 on Ackley. Bases are loaded. 1-0 Padres in the 7th. They go off speed and low on the curve. It's 1-1. In the air, down the left field line. Long run. Now Kotze, that ball will drift and go foul, not a play. Kotze climbing the wall, the sidewall out there, doing a little Tarzan impersonation and trying to reach in to make that catch, but it was out of play.
Yeah, Mark going full speed. Then he starts to realize, oh my gosh, wait, I got a wall that I'm heading towards, and it's only a few feet past this foul line. So he slows down, tries to time the jump perfectly to get up, and he timed it well and climbed up the wall. Probably some spike marks in those pads now, but just a little bit out of his reach. Great effort.
I'd say going full tilt. And the count 1-2 strikes here on Ackley. Bases loaded. 2 outs in the 7th. 1-0 Padres. Here's the pitch. Low and outside. Excellent block again by Nick Hundley.
Nick keeping it in front of him over in the right-hand batter's box.
Casper Wells at third. Kawasaki is the runner at second. Ichiro is at first. 2-2 on Ackley. Strike 3 call. Gets him low and on the outside corner, and the inning is over. Excellent job in relief by Joe Thatcher. And he keeps the Mariners off the scoreboard. They don't score, and they leave 3. We played 7. Padres 1. Mariners nothing. Padre baseball on San Diego Sports Leader WX 1090.
Fun, intelligent, affordable transportation.
Baseball on San Diego Sports Leader WX 1090.
Well, come join the Padres as they honor the men and women of the U.S. Army Sunday, June 24th. A 1:05 first pitch, U.S. Army Appreciation Day presented by USAA. Plus, after your Padres take on the Mariners at 1:05. All those junior Padres can run the bases after that game. Get your tickets right now at Padres.com or call 619-795-5555. We go to the 8th, and the Padres have a 1-0 lead. Lucas Luetge will be the new pitcher for Seattle.
Luetge fastball, slider, curveball. Fastball is going to be 87 to 92 miles an hour. Big, tall left-hander.
And he'll work to Will Venable. He'll take strike, 0-1.
And he's pretty tough on left-handers especially. 0.74 batting average against left-handers with 13 punch-outs.
0-1. And Will takes low and outside this time. Ball 1. 1-1.
Can't say enough about the job by Joe Thatcher coming in to retire Ichiro. Leave the bases loaded.
And we're missing low and outside again. 2-1.
Even more impressive when you think about last night's outing where he gives up the home run. First home run he's allowed since 2010 to a left-hand batter, and that's part of being a good reliever is getting back on that horse the next day. You can't think of a tougher situation to come into. And he came through big.
2-1. Here comes the pitch. And Venable got jammed and found it to third base dugout. 2-2. So Marquis 6 1/3, 6 hits, no runs, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts. As Noesi with 7 innings, 5 hits, 1 run earned, 3 walks, so 1 of those was intentional. 5 strikeouts, a hit batter, and a home run. 2-2. Venable got jammed again and managed to foul it back to the screen to stay alive. Still 2-2. Luke Gregerson beginning to warm for the Padres in the bullpen.
Well, I think we will probably see Joe Thatcher start the inning. He'll face Kyle Seager. And then they'll likely go to Gregerson to face Montero.
Venable chops one slowly up the first base side. It'll be fielded by Smoke. He'll reach to tag Venable, and he gets him just before the bag. And 1 out. 3 unassisted to bring up Everett Cabrera. 1-0 is the Padres lead here in the top of inning number 8. So here is Cabrera. And the first pitch is low from Luetge. Well, you get Luetge out of Luetge. Ground ball to the right side. Ackley will field on the convenient hop. He'll throw out Cabrera. That's out number 2. Padres baseball tonight being brought to you by GTM Stores. Visit GTM Discount General Stores in Santee and Lemon Grove for up to 70% off HD TVs, electronics, furniture, supplies, groceries, designer fashions for the family, and a whole bunch more. Click GTMstores.com to get valuable coupons from GTM. 1-0 Padres here in the 8th. And Headley will switch around and bat from the right side. Take a fastball way outside for ball 1.
Mr. Luetge's got a nice little streak to start off his major league career. 23 appearances spanning 15 innings. This is his 24th now without allowing a run, or an earned run, I should say.
Pitch in the dirt. 2-0.
Nice little start to your career.
Yeah.
This big league stuff's easy.
Until he gives up that first one, and then we'll see how he recovers. Could happen right here.
Good point.
Two-0 pitch. Grounded sharply at third. Nice backhand pick there. And throw across by Seager. And the Padres go in order here in inning number 8. We go to the bottom. It's the Padres 1 and the Mariners nothing. This is Padre Baseball on San Diego Sports Leader XX 1090. And that pitch is drilled to short, and a diving stop right there by Everett Cabrera. What a play by Everett Cabrera, diving back to his left up the middle, and he snares that line drive ticketed to left center. One away.
And the Nicaraguan's got a huge smile on his face after that amazing play. Line drive, reached out, almost no reaction time whatsoever. It wasn't even a step and a dive. It was just straight react, dive. Great play for the first out. A little bit of a snow cone right there. Some of the ball is actually peeking out of the tip of his glove, Andy.
So Buddy Black will come and get the baseball from Joe Thatcher. So Luke Gregerson will come in. Bases are empty with one out after a spectacular play by Everett Cabrera. On the final pitch thrown by Joe Thatcher. And the batter, Jesus Montero, in a 1-0 lead for the Padres here in the 8th inning.
Gregerson was outstanding last night with his slider. The Mariners were way out in front of it. Hopefully he has that same biting slider tonight.
Well, out of San Francisco, Matt Cain now has a perfect game through 7 with a career-high 13 strikeouts. And a first pitch strike on a fastball to Montero, 0-1.
Well, we haven't seen Montero let too many fastballs get by.
And that one's hit into right center field. That's going to be a base hit. Another fastball. And Montero has his 3rd hit of the day.
You know, I wonder if that's a case where Montero walks up there thinking, hey, this guy throws a ton of sliders. I'm looking first pitch slider. So he takes a fastball down the middle. And then Luke, on the other hand, is thinking, he just took a fastball down the middle. He's probably looking for a slider. I'm going to come back with another fastball. But Montero's right on the second one.
Sean Figgins will go in and run.
The old I think you're thinking, I'm thinking that you're thinking, I'm thinking.
I'm not saying, I'm just saying.
You don't see Luke get beat too often on back-to-back fastballs.
So the batter, Justin Smoke. And a throw to first. Smoke hit one about as far as you can without getting it out of this ballpark. To end the 6th, and then in the 7th, first batter, first pitch. Yonder Alonso takes one out of here to right center. And that's the difference in this game right now. 1-0 Padres in the 8th. Another throw to first with Gregerson checking on Sean Figgins.
Well, one thing I'm thinking right now, if I'm on the mound facing Justin Smoke, I've seen him drive some balls with a pretty good pop opposite field and center field, and they just died. I'm probably going to try to stay away and not let him burn me down that right field line where the ball seems to carry a little bit better.
First pitch, and Smoke will take it low and out for ball 1. Another fastball. Dale Fair and Alex Hinshaw, lefty and a righty, warming up for the Padres in the bullpen. Sharply grounded foul down the first base side. It gets behind the tarp. And the count, 1 ball, 1 strike. One and one the count here on Smoke. Figgins at first. Trying to check and couldn't on a good, better than good. Great Luke Gregerson slider.
Yeah, the first one was a little bit of a backdoor slider that we saw him roll over, and that was the good hard one down and in. Sort of tempting that left-hand batter of, hey, I know you like him down and in to drive it, so here's one. Looks like a fastball down in, last second, just dives towards that back foot. Swing over it.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Quick throw to first. Figgins back on the bag.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Luke go back to that back foot slider. Got to keep it down, though.
1-2 pitch. Went back to it. Missed low. It's 2-2.
That's all right. That's exactly where you want to miss with it. The last thing you want to do is leave it just a little bit up, a little bit better than the previous one. That's when you get burned on the home run down the right field line.
1-0. Padres lead. Bottom of the 8th inning with 1 out and a runner at first base for the Mariners. There goes Figgins. 2-2. Ripped down the first baseline, but foul.
That's the one we were talking about. He goes back to the same place for a third time. That one not quite as low as the previous two. Unfortunately, Smoke hitting it hard, but hitting it foul.
Still 2-2. And broken bat. So Smoke with a new piece of lumber. He'll readjust the batting gloves as he heads back towards home plate.
I think at this point you've probably opened up the outside part of the plate with a little bit of margin for error for yourself now.
See what they have in mind here. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count on Smoke. And a bluff move over to first base as Gregerson stepped off the back of the mound. Tom Wilhelmsen is the man throwing for the Mariners in their bullpen. He is their closer at these days. There goes Figgins again, and a little breaking ball was bounced foul at home plate.
Interesting. They had originally set up to throw a changeup before Luke stepped off the rubber, and I think Luke had a change of heart. He said, you know what, I really don't want to throw that pitch, hence the step off and look over at first move. He came back and worked back through it and got Nick to go back to that slider again.
And Smoke just got a piece of it. So Alonso holding Figgins on at first base, the pinch runner. And again, Gregerson will step off the mound, look the runner back to first base. Figgins has been breaking on the last couple of pitches. Not moving this time, and a foul straight back and out of play. Another slider.
Yeah. Slider up. He got away with it. Foul it off, and Smoke is talking to himself right now saying that's the one I should have just driven. That's all right. If I'm on the mound, I just got away with that one. I'm thinking to myself, okay, you've had yours. You missed it. The rest of them are mine.
8th pitch of the at-bat coming up right here. Figgins running again. Pitch is hit in the air to center field and shallow center. Cameron Maben coming in a couple of steps. Now will make the catch and a big second out.
Yeah, there we go. That was the one that you really had him set up for all along after those good sliders down and in, the fastball two-seamer away. We've seen Justin Smoke trying to drive that ball opposite field this entire series. It's just not going anywhere. That's a safe spot for Luke to go to at that point after those good sliders.
So now with 2 outs, the batter will be Michael Saunders, left-handed batter. 0 for 2 with a walk here tonight.
Hey fans, Padre Baseball brought to you by the San Diego County Toyota dealers. San Diego County Toyota dealers, we've got what it takes.
Saunders takes, and the slider missing outside for a ball. 1-0. 1-0 Padres in the 8th. Figgins at first base. Now with 2 outs. Gregerson has his sign and is ready, and now he and Hundley will discuss. They'll go out and talk to each other. Only with a glance into the third base dugout. The 1-0 pitch. And now 2 balls and no strikes. That one low. Now Gregerson delivers 2-0. And the slider broke and just caught the outside corner for a called strike. 2-1.
That must be so nice to be able to go to the slider 2-0. It's like most guys go to a changeup. You can put that slider on the outside corner of the lefty, outside corner of the right-hander. It's pretty much his go-to need a strike pitch, no matter what the count.
Two-1. Ripped into right. That's going to be a base hit. Figgins will turn second, head toward third. He will get there. First and third with 2 away. Here in the 8th inning. First hit for Saunders.
Got a good swing on the same pitch that he just saw, 2-0. Another backdoor slider. And that time he really reached out and pulled to the right side.
So Darren Balsley once again will come out for a visit with John Jaso coming to the plate. Now the tying run is at third base with 2 outs in the 8th. 1-0 Padres. If you're just joining us, it was a pitcher's duel through the first 6. As Marquis and Noesy were going pitch for pitch. As Marquis escaped the bottom of the 6th inning with a deep drive off the bat of Justin Smoke to about the wall in right center. First pitch of the 7th inning, Yonder Alonso drove into the seats in right, and that is the only run of this game. Joe Thatcher doing a great job to get out of the 7th inning with the bases loaded, getting Ichiro to bounce into a fielder's choice, and then a strikeout looking of Ackley. So now, runners out at the corners with 2 outs for the Mariners here in the 8th inning. That's 1-2.
Good idea, perfectly executed after the 2 backdoor sliders to get ahead 0-2. They try to go to that back foot slider that we've talked about to the left-hand batters. He threw it exactly where he wanted to, almost getting Jaso to commit, but not quite.
First and third for the Mariners with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th inning. Padres leading 1-0. Jaso down to the count 1-2. There goes Saunders, and a swing and a miss for strike 3. Again with that slider in at the feet of Jaso, and he swings on through it. And the inning has come to an end. So Luke Gregerson strands him at the corners, and we have played 8. It's the Padres 1 and the Mariners 0. This is Padre Baseball on San Diego Sports Leader XX 1090.
XX 1090.
Well, the Mariners have changed their battery. And a 1-0 lead for the Padres here to the top of the 9th inning. Brandon League, their former closer, now working in the setup role. And now pitching with his team behind a run. Brandon League, the new pitcher, and Miguel Olivo, the new catcher. And Carlos Quentin will be the batter. Quentin 0 for 1. He was walked and walked intentionally. And a breaking ball by League is inside for ball 1. 3-0 is ball 4 inside. Lead walk. And third walk tonight for Carlos Quentin. And Mark Kotze will come to the plate. It is 1-0 Padres.
Hey, fan, enjoy a Padres game in style with a Padres suite. Suites can be customized to fit your group's needs and include flexible seating options, great food and beverage packages, and much, much more. Visit Padres.com/suites or call 619-795-5555 to get your suite today.
Logan Forsythe will go in and run for Carlos Quentin. Throw on to first, not close. Well, the Matt Cain perfect game is into the 8th. He has through 8 innings, that is. 14 strikeouts, a career high. He has 114 pitches.
Wow. And no pressure in a blowout game.
10-0 is the Giants' lead. Kotze off of the body of League. That'll drift into shallow left field. That'll allow Forsythe to get to third. First and third for the Padres with nobody out of the ninth.
Off the body or off the bottom? Looked like it got him straight in the rear. Carried him nicely. The shortstop was breaking up the middle because it looked like the ball was going to go right over second base. And because of that, big hole over on the left side. Kotze gets himself in a little pitcher-assisted single, huh?
Nicely done, yeah. And he'll exit the ball game. Chris Denorfia will go in to run at first base. So a couple of new players in there on the corners. Forsythe at third and Denorfia now at first base with nobody out. And the batter is Yonder Alonso. His home run leading off the 7th inning is the difference in this game. It is 1-0 Padres in the 9th.
Nothing wrong with an insurance run.
And Denorfia just takes off and steals second base. Nobody paid any attention to him.
Yeah, Levo came up. I don't think he really had any intention of trying to throw down to second base anyway. Last thing you want to do is try to throw down there and let that runner score for third.
But that will take the bat out of the hands of Yonder Alonso. They will go ahead and intentionally walk him. And League almost threw that one to the backstop. Good block there by Olivo. There's ball 3. And Alonso will lay the bat down at home plate and take his base. So Cameron Maben will come up. The bases are loaded and nobody out. Maben looking for his first hit. 2 strikeouts and a foul out. This will be a nice time for hit number 1. As Houston Street begins to loosen in the Padres bullpen.
I'll take something into the left field corner, but they're really shading him opposite field. The left fielder towards the gap.
High strike called. A little bit above the belt. 0-1. Maben gets out of the batter's box in complete disagreement with that call. Bases loaded. The infield has come in. And a chop foul to the third base on deck circle, and it's quickly 0-2 on Cameron Maben.
Well, if you're Cam now, you got to probably, and obviously you just can't look split finger, but you know that Brandon League has that split finger that he tries to put guys away with. And on the other side of that, if you're Logan Forsythe over at third base, you also want to be anticipating something in the dirt, might get an opportunity to score.
The 0-2 pitch gets him looking. Strike 3 call. One away. A pitch about a foot inside. So here is Nick Hundley. Infield remains in. Closer in on the right side than on the left. Seager's about even with the bag. And a bouncing ball to Seager. He'll throw home for 1. Olivo's return is in time. 5-2-3 double play. And the inning is over. So the Padres will head to the 9th trying to protect a 1-0 lead. Padres 1, Mariners 0. This is Padre Baseball on San Diego Sports Leader WX 1090.
Sports Leader WX 1090.
Houston Street, the new pitcher for the San Diego Padres, trying to nail down the save for the second straight night. It is 1-0 Padres as we go to this 9th inning. It'll be the 8, 9, and 1 batters scheduled to face Houston Street. As we kind of keep an eye on things going on in San Francisco as well. Some other defensive changes for the Padres. Kristen Orfia has taken over in left field. And Street on the mound. So now 2 outs in the 9th inning in San Francisco as Matt Cain is 1 out away from a perfect game against the Astros. So Street 2/3 of an inning last night, did give up a run, a couple of hits and a strikeout. Works first to Casper Wells. And a first pitch fastball outside for ball 1.
You know, with the inconsistent strike zone we've had tonight, this is not the ideal situation for Houston Street, who really relies on being able to get the calls when he hits that outside corner.
1-0 is ripped to third, but right to the glove of Chase Headley. Makes the backhand grab, out number 1.
Nice job. He went fastball away, didn't get the call, went back out there again. Casper Wells leaning out over, rips it. Fortunately, right at Chase Headley. Now, I will say this about Gary Darling's strike zone, though. The last 3 innings, it looks like it's opened up a little bit, so maybe Houston can get a little bit of the outside corner at this point.
So here is Kawasaki. He shortens the bunt, bunts it foul back to the screen. There's a strike. 0-2. Well, Matt Cain has just thrown a perfect game.
Wow, good for him. Quite an accomplishment.
So 2 perfect games in the same year, the 3rd time that's ever happened. Pitch is in the dirt.
That's the 3rd time that's happened?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Of course, the other perfect game was pitched right here in this ballpark by Philip Humber. The 22nd perfect game in the history of baseball. Matt Cain of the Giants. And on the 1-2 pitch. Little bit outside, a check swing, and on appeal, no swing. 2-2. For 14 strikeouts, ties the most ever in a perfect game for Matt Cain. Street, an even count, 2-2 here on Kawasaki. Padres trying to nail down the win. Up 1-0 here in the 9th. Bases empty, 1 out. Slap foul to the screen.
Got to hand it to Matt Cain on a couple of counts. First of all, he gets the big contract, and he's really stepped up to that. Oftentimes you'll see guys, and we've seen it, where they try to pitch up to that contract and all of a sudden feel more pressure. Obviously, that hasn't affected him. But even more importantly, that with Tim Lincecum struggling, he's really stepped up to be the ace of that staff at this point.
Swing and a foul tip held by Hundley. There's strike 3. And out number 2. Here is Ichiro.
Paint by Houston Street. Stayed on that outside corner, that last pitch at the knees on the black. Kawasaki trying to stay alive, just fouls it off, and Nick able to hang on.
So the first perfect game in the history of the San Francisco Giants. Street trying to nail down the save. A 1-0 Padres lead. 2 outs and strike 1 to Ichiro.
And this is exactly how you want to face Ichiro, with nobody on and 2 outs. Last thing you were hoping is, last thing you want to see is a runner on base in scoring position with this guy up, and now he can't do a whole lot of damage.
Outside, it's 1-1.
But he does have pop. You can't take him for granted. And where he normally swings for a single, maybe in this situation, you make a mistake, he might be thinking long ball with 2 outs and nobody on, down by a run.
1 ball and 1 strike on Ichiro. Here comes the pitch by Houston Street. Swinging a foul back to the screen. 1-2. And the Padres one strike away from taking the first two games of this series. Padres leading 1-0 on the strength of a Yonder Alonso leadoff homer in the seventh. That is it. The 1-2 pitch to Ichiro in the dirt, 2-2.
Good idea. Stay down and away. Can't hurt you down there. Went with the changeup. We've seen Ichiro chase a couple of those tonight. Didn't chase that one, but not a bad idea.
The count is even, 2-2 on Ichiro. In the air, third base side, foul territory. Headley over for a look, but it'll fall 3 rows deep and out of play. So we'll do it again. Street will climb back up on the hill with a new baseball. And now winds for the 2-2 pitch. Here it comes to Ichiro. High bouncer towards second. Amarista with it. On to first in time, and the ball game is over, and the San Diego Padres have defeated the Seattle Mariners by a final score of 1-0. Houston Street nails down the save for Jason Marquis, who wins his first game as a San Diego Padre. And the Padres win back-to-back ball games for the first time since May 19th and May 20th against the Angels at Petco. 1-0. Padres win it. Back with a recap in just a moment. This is Padre Baseball on Steve. So the Padres get a 1-0 win here against the Seattle Mariners. It was nip and tuck most of this game as each pitcher matching the other pitch for pitch early on, and the Padres managed that one run on the home run by Yonder Alonso in the 7th inning, and the bullpen makes it stand up and makes the winner of Jason Marquis. 1-0 the final. Padres take the first two games of the series, and down on the field joining us is relief on the win. Go enjoy it with your teammates.
All right, thanks, Andy.
Great job, Joe.
Thank you.
Joe Thatcher joining us from the field after the Padres get a 1-0 win here at Safeco Field. As, again, the only run of this ball game coming in the 7th inning, a leadoff home run by Yonder Alonso, his second home run of the season. And Jason Marquis and that bullpen, Joe Thatcher, Luke Gregerson, and Houston Street, make it stand up. Postgame show coming up here in just a few moments with Coach John Cantera and Randy Jones. A full recap of our ball game here and highlights, I'm sure, from the perfect game thrown by Matt Cain tonight. They'll also take your phone calls at 877-792-1090. Final totals in the game here for the victorious San Diego Padres: 1 run on 6 hits, 1 error. And for the Seattle Mariners, no runs on 8 hits, no errors. Jason Marquis, the winner, evens up the record at 1-1. It was Houston Street coming on to record his 7th save. Hector Noesy, with the loss, he is now 2-7. 2 hours and 46 minutes of baseball in front of a crowd of 13,931 here at Safeco Field in Seattle, Washington. So that is going to do it for us here in the booth here tonight. We might mention that tomorrow's pitching matchup for a 7:10 Pacific time start will be Edinson Volquez going to the mound for the Padres at 2-6 against Erasmo Ramirez, who has no record in a 2.45 ERA, just called back up from AAA Tacoma before the ball game here today. So that is tomorrow at 7:10. We invite you to join us at that time. Andy Major for Jerry Coleman, Ted Leitner, Bob Scanlon, our producer Dave Marcus, studio coordinator tonight Dan Noon. We invite you once again. Stay tuned for the postgame show. The coach John Cantera and the lefty Randy Jones will have it for you in just a few moments. Final score: Padres 1 and the Mariners nothing. Andy Major saying good night from Seattle. You've been listening to San Diego Padres baseball on the Padres Radio Network.